The Apple TV is arguably the best streaming box on the planet. It's fast, clean, and doesn't blast you with cheap ads. But here's the thing. Most people are only getting about 40% of what this little box can actually do. If you're just clicking app icons and scrolling through Netflix, you're missing out on the actual features that set this apart from the others. I'm talking about using AirPods instead of TV speakers, using your phone to calibrate your TV, and the ability of creating offline profiles. In this video, we're bypassing the basic setup stuff. Just 10 advanced tips that will make you using the Apple TV even better than it already is. Let's start with the feature that saves you from diving into your television's confusing and often inaccurate picture settings menus. Most TVs out of the box have terrible color calibration, usually biased heavily towards the cold blue tones to make the TV look unnaturally bright in the showroom displays. Apple TV can fix this locally by using the light sensor on your iPhone to profile your panel and apply a system-wide color correction matrix. It shifts your display's white point back to standard D65, instantly fixing inaccurate skin tones and oversaturated neon hues without paying hundreds of dollars for professional hardware calibration tools. To do this, open Settings on your Apple TV, go to Video and Audio, scroll to the bottom of the page and select Color Balance. Unlock your iPhone, bring it within an inch of the blue box on your TV screen with the front-facing True Depth camera pointed directly at the glass, and let the color cycle complete. Select View Comparison to look at the raw data changes. Modern audio mixing for streaming content is notoriously bad. Dialogue gets regularly buried beneath background noises, explosions, and music tracks. Instead of manually rewinding, guessing the timestamp, and digging into menus to turn on subtitles, Apple built an algorithmic shortcut specifically to patch this user experience gap. It targets exactly what you need when you miss a piece of speech. It jumps backwards precisely 10 seconds, temporarily toggles on closed captions, plays the line of text, and then automatically disables the captions once the time catches up to your original position. How to do this? Well, while a movie or show is actively playing, press and hold the Siri button on the right side of your remote. Speak clearly into the microphone. What did they say? Release the button and watch the system execute the timeline jump automatically. Tip number 3, setting up managed profiles. Most people think to get an independent up next queue or a custom recommendation on an Apple TV, every single person in the house needs a full independent Apple account. This is false. If you have younger kids or frequent guests or a partner who doesn't manage a separate Apple ID, you can spin up a localized managed profile directly on the box under your primary account. You can create up to 5 local profiles. It completely isolates watch histories and lets you set up a customized parental restrictions or a dedicated kids mode without forcing someone to go through a full registration, password, and a 2-factor authentication sequence. To do this, press and hold the TV home button on your remote to trigger the control panel sidebar. Click on your profile icon and at the top, select Add Profile. You can also do this in the setting menu under Profiles and Accounts. On the setup screen, bypass the option to sign in with an Apple account and select Create Profile. Type in a name, pick an avatar icon, and select Done. If it's for a child, you can toggle Kids Mode on right there to enforce automated age-appropriate content filters instantly. Tip number 4, force quitting frozen apps. Apple's native A-series silicon is incredibly efficient, but third-party streaming apps are frequently poorly optimized. Memory leaks and server handshake issues will regularly freeze apps like Max, Paramount, or Prime Video. Most people fix this by power cycling the whole box or deep diving settings to restart. You don't need to do that. Your Apple TV has a hidden app switcher just like your iPhone. This way completely flushes the app from the system's volatile RAM, forcing a hard initialization from scratch. This solves 99% of streaming playback issues in roughly 3 seconds flat. To do this, double-click the physical TV/home button on your Siri remote. Swipe left or right on the clickpad to highlight the frozen app. Swipe straight up on the clickpad to fling the app or window away and force a terminate process. Press the back button to return the home screen and reopen the app. No more restarting the entire box every time an app locks up. Tip number 5. Reclaiming your home screen. By default, pressing the TV home button on your remote drops you into the native Apple TV app storefront. Apple wants you there because it acts as a funnel to sell you subscriptions and rentals. Your primary goal is to simply view your custom grid of installed apps. That extra click to exit Apple's storefront is an artificial point of friction. It returns the remote primary navigation button to a true immediate desktop key, optimizing the speed and movement through the UI. To do this, navigate to your main settings app, select remotes and devices. Locate the setting labeled TV button, click it once to change the default destination from the Apple TV app to the home screen. You're welcome. Tip number 6, AirPods audio sharing. If you want to watch a movie late at night with full high fidelity sound, cinematic low-end frequencies, and spatial audio mapping without waking up your family or neighbors, traditional TV setups leave you stranded. The Apple TV 4K lets you stream independent low-latency audio feeds to 2 entirely separate pairs of AirPods simultaneously. What you get is a full personalized theater audio profile, including independent volume controls for each person, while the actual room remains dead silent. To do this, open your first set of AirPods and connect them normally. Press and hold the TV home button to trigger the control center panel and select the audio options icon. Scroll down and click Share Audio. Bring the second set of AirPods close to the Apple TV box, open the lid, and follow the on-screen pairing prompt. And now, enjoy seamless audio. Tip number 7, taming the oversensitive clickpad. The 3rd Gen Siri remote's clickpad features a touch capacitive surface that lets you swipe around like a trackpad. While it's great for fast scrub sequences, it can be hypersensitive. If you casually brush against the remote while it's sitting on the couch cushion, you might accidentally fast forward or skip a scene or even pause your movie. This replaces fluid, unpredictable touch sensing with rigid, mechanical precision, perfect for users who find themselves consistently misclicking or overshooting menus. How to do this? Go to your settings menu, click on Remotes and Devices, choose ClickPad, and toggle the setting from click and touch to click only. Now the remote will completely ignore surface level swiping gestures, requiring deliberate mechanical click to regulate an action. Tip number 8, activating advanced dialogue enhancement. If you aren't using headphones and rely instead on a soundbar, TV speakers, or a home theater audio system, dialogue can get totally crushed by background sounds and effects. Using real-time audio processing, the Apple TV can actively isolate speech frequencies and push them forward in the audio mix. This works system-wide across standard TV setups. This selectively boosts the frequency range of human speech while keeping ambient sound effects balanced, keeping you from constantly riding the volume button during loud action sequences. To do this, while a movie or show is actively playing, show playback controls and click Audio Options button. Locate the Enhance dialogue, select Enhance for clear vocal boost with minimal impact to the original mix, or Enhance More if you're watching in an apartment or near a sleeping bedroom and need maximum vocal prominence. Pro tip, you can set your default preference permanently under Settings, Video Audio, and Enhanced Dialogue. Tip number 9, decluttering the UI with application folders. If you download separate apps for every local network, streaming provider, or utility tool, your interface turns into an unmanageable wall of icons. Instead of endlessly scrolling to find a niche app, you can create localized system folders exactly like you do on your phone or tablet. This maximizes visual scannability and drastically shortens the physical time spent hunting down apps you only use occasionally. To do this, hover over any application icon on your main home screen. Press and hold the center of the clickpad until the highlighted icon begins to jiggle. Press the physical play button on your remote to open options or context menu. Select new folder or move it into an existing category you've already created. And do that for every app you want in a folder. Tip number 10, finding a lost Siri remote. The aluminum Siri remote is incredibly sleek, but it's thin enough to slide directly into couch cushions or get lost under papers on a coffee table. Because the 3rd gen remote features close range wireless tracking, you can use your iPhone as a localized radar system to locate it. This replaces couch cushion diving with accurate spatial feedback, telling you exactly whether you're getting closer or further away from the physical hardware. To do this, pull down on the control center on your iPhone. Tap the Apple TV remote icon. Open the device drop-down list in the top and locate your specific Apple TV. Tap the Find icon located right next to the remote name, and your iPhone will open a tracking interface with a dynamic circle that grows larger or smaller, giving text updates like far, near, or here as you approach the remote. At the end of the day, hardware is only as good as the software configurations you put in place. The Apple TV has the best performance of any streaming box on the market. If you don't take 5 minutes to dial in the calibration, clean up your profiles, and adjust your remote sensitivity, you're missing out on the premium experience you're actually paying for. Drop a comment down below and let me know how many of these you are actually using, or if there's a specific audio or video configuration you run on your setup that I didn't cover here, let me know. If this video helped you extract more real-world value out of the tech you already own, consider hitting that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.